Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the IndyCar stage as we continue to unveil some great drivers, some great cars, and some great programs. We're here for the Mazda Road to Indy. Of course, we just saw the brand new USF 17 Tatis race car, and now we're going to take the opportunity to announce a driver who will complete a four-pilot lineup for Ricardo Juncos' program, Juncos Racing. Obviously, they're very excited to welcome Garrett Grist back to the Pro Mazda Championship, a driver who has been part of the USF 2000 program, 2 years in Pro Mazda. He'll go here for his third year. He's been a victor at every level of the Mazda Road to Indy, and I think Garrett, of course, very excited to be back here again with Juncos Racing. Ricardo, let's start with you. 4 drivers now in the Pro Mazda stable for you, obviously working on the Indy Lights program as well already. Kyle Kaiser signed. But for Pro Mazda, you already have Nick DePero, you have Will Owen, and you have Jake Parsons. So 4 really great drivers for next year in Pro Mazda. Give me your thoughts on bringing Garrett back to that program in 2016.
Yeah, as you say, it's been great, and we are very happy to have Gris back with us. We felt that we started this championship 2015 building a new Indy Lights team was very difficult for us, and that hurts a little bit the Pro Mazda team. Because we moved some technical stuff and we reorganized the whole thing from the beginning, and take a while for us to kind of learn and recover, as well as him coming from different teams. We were kind of different, and was a kind of mutual process that finally second half of the season we really started putting things together, and Gigi was able to do the 5 last pole positions and won the last 2 races, and we just get to really start working properly towards to the end. So always in racing, you have the second chance, so I think it's a great opportunity that this allow us to keep working together for next year, and obviously we feel like he's going to be a championship contender, and we're going to just keep doing what we was doing last year.
I think you're right. The way the kind of season started, you guys really got to learn each other, and really the driver over the second half of the season was Garrett. He's the one that really stepped up at Mid-Ohio, and then of course at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, he was dominant to score 2 victories. Do you feel like your focus now will be to keep everything together and just use that peak and continue to go forward into 2016?
Yeah, that's the idea. Now we have a much solid idea. We raise some people in the team. They're taking new roles. Take a little bit of while to get what we want. Clearly, in the last 2 races, Laguna Seca, he won both races and win the battle on track with Urrutia, who was the champion, but Gary beat him. So that clearly show how his potential, and if we can just start how we finish, if we can start like that 2016, I don't have a doubt that we can be. Never is easy, right? Never is easy. There is obviously good teams out there, good drivers always, but that's our ultimate goal.
Let's move over to Garrett, pass that mic over to him. Obviously, Garrett, we've watched you come through the karting ranks into USF 2000, 2 years in Pro Mazda. And some people may say this is your 3rd year in Pro Mazda, which is it's interesting, but you did skip out of USF 2000 probably 1 year too early, jumped up with the opportunity to run Matthew Brabham's car. You come over here with Juncos Racing, and man, obviously, great end of the season last year. Let's begin with just your primary thoughts of making the call to stay at Pro Mazda and how the season ended last year.
Oh, yeah, like you said, I skipped out of USF 2000 kind of a year early to move up with Andretti because they were getting rid of the USF 2000 program. So this is now my 4th year on the road to Indy, and it kind of puts me back on track with where we wanted to be. The end of the year last year was amazing. I think I had 6 poles out of the last 8 races, and the 2 I wasn't on pole, I was on the front row. We were able to win both at Laguna. Obviously I think we could have won a couple more, but things happened. And like Ricardo said, we got off to a really slow start, and kind of everyone was like, geez, like, what's going on here? We expected to be, a dominant car from the first race of the year at St. Pete, but from Toronto on, the second half of the year, I think we were quickest almost every session, and we were really, really dominant. And Peter and I started to work really well together. We understand each other really well, and hopefully we can carry that on to this year.
Interesting you talk about Peter Dempsey. It's kind of a cool connection. We have a Canadian driver and an Irish mechanic and a Spanish team owner. It's an international flair there at Juncos Racing.
Yeah, we're very multicultural at Juncos Racing.
Let's talk about what you've done over the last number of years. You must carry confidence through, obviously, to next year, having won at so many different parts of tracks on the circuit. You've been very strong on the oval at Lucas Oil Raceway. It's obviously been one of the great places for you. I believe you've won every year, essentially, at Mid-Ohio as well. Like, you've been very strong at Mid-Ohio, but this year, obviously not.
Except
not
this year.
That's
the
right.
first year I didn't win there.
But then to go to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca and sweep the weekend there, knowing that our finale is going to be there again next year, it must take you there with some confidence and some momentum going into 2016.
Yeah, for sure. And even look at the schedule for this year, I think the Juncos guys have been to Road America before, so that helps us a lot going there. And that's a track that suits my style. It's a bit like a Mid-Ohio, Laguna Seca, quick, sweeping. But yeah, just really confident that I know I'm able to win at these tracks. We didn't have the best weekend at IRP last year, but I won it the year before, so I know what we're capable of there. And also this year in Iowa, we had the pole for a bit, but yeah, the schedule looks good, and I think it'll be a good year for us.
Let's move over to Dan Anderson. Dan, you've had a chance to watch these kids come through the ranks. Sage Karam, of course, one of the first drivers to start in USF 2000 and go all the way through. Garrett's part of the young kids that came through in USF 2000. Must feel good to you to see him stay in Pro Mazda one more year. I know he probably would have liked to have gone to Indy Lights. That would have been something he would have considered. But to keep him in Pro Mazda, that series is going to be very strong next year.
Well, thank you, Rob. As has been said, Garrett came on so strong in the second half. He's definitely the early favorite for the championship, and I think he'll do fine. Juncos is a great team. Proud to have them in our paddock, and these are all my kids. I mean, I'm proud of these kids. Especially the guys that have started and come up through the ladder. I feel like a parent, except I don't have the obligation to pay, which is great.
Garrett, back to you. Let's talk a little bit about maybe some of the sponsors, the partners you have. Do you have some good partners in place for 2016?
Yeah, for sure. We have a couple good ones in place. I know one's getting announced next week. I don't know if I can say it yet or not.
Probably not.
I'm getting the nod.
You're
I can't
getting
say
the nod.
it yet.
No from Dad.
But
no.
It's a big company that was a primary sponsor in IndyCar for many years and hasn't been there in a bit.
Exciting.
And they want to get back there, and they want to work with me to get back there. So it's a partnership for the future. It's not a 1 year thing. It's a 4 or 5 year thing, and I'm really happy about that because that's what you need to be able to move up these days.
One question, obviously, to cap things off, you moved with Juncos, you ran with them, of course, last year. Is the fact that they have that Indy Lights program part of one of your reasons why you really wanted to stay with them and grow with them as well? Because there is that opportunity to just take that one step within the team, within the shop, to go to Indy Lights in 2017?
Yeah, for sure, it's nice, and you see the success they had last year with the speed, even at Laguna Seca, the performances they were able to put on, but throughout the whole year, and I think they're just going to keep continuing to learn and get better, and definitely I'd like to be able to stay with the same team to move up. I just got to convince Peter to move up with me.
Congratulations, well done. Ricardo, congratulations on adding another great driver. 4 solid drivers in Pro Mazda. You have to be pretty excited going to St. Pete in March.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for the people here, and yeah, we look forward for a great 16 again.
Thank you very much, guys. Well done. Thank you. Folks, any of the media, we will have one-on-ones. If you want to talk to one of our guys here, we can do that. We can take some pictures as well if you'd like. Otherwise, Garrett and Ricardo both available for one-on-one interviews. Folks, in just a couple of minutes, I believe about 15 minutes from now as well, we have one more final announcement here for the Mazda Road to Indy here at the IndyCar stage. RGB Motorsports will be here as well to announce a USF 2000 driver who will be alongside Clint McMahon for the 2016 Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship powered by Mazda. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here at the IndyCar stage for another great announcement here as part of the Mazda Road to Indy. Again, my name's Rob Howden, the voice of the Mazda Road to Indy, and I'm pleased to be here to essentially introduce a new team to the series, as well as a driver who will be joining that team for 2016. We're excited to have Fred Edwards here from RJB Motorsports, a new team that will be actually 2 cars here in the upcoming season. Clint McMahon, already part of the program, and they have just announced that Mackay Stevens, a Team USA scholarship driver, will join the team in 2016. And we have Mackay and Fred, and of course, Danny Anderson on the stage with us. Fred, let's start with you. RGB Motorsports, a brand new team, really. You guys put it together last year, tested the waters a bit at Mid-Ohio, but you're going to jump in feet first this year in St. Petersburg with 2 cars. First of all, welcome to the series, and then tell us about the program a little bit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It is a new team. We've been racing, club racing stuff in the SCCA with the Formula 600 Challenge Series, and when we started to look around to have some kind of a venue for our drivers in the 600 Challenge, to be able to move out of that series into what we wanted was a series where they could go up, this was the natural selection for us. And we're happy to be here. Yes, we did. We bought 2 cars last year from Earl Swan. They were Bilardi cars, yep. And we picked them up 2 weeks before Mid-Ohio and said, hey, let's go to Mid-Ohio, which I'm glad we did because we learned a lot. And I think that learning curve that we had at Mid-Ohio is going to help us for 2016 for sure.
You made the next move, of course, taking Clint to the Criff Griffith Memorial Test at COTA. You also had Aaron Telitz, a veteran driver in USF 2000, in the car. How much were you able to learn and maybe set yourself up for next year during that test in Texas?
Well, I think the most important thing that we learned, and thanks to Aaron, was that our cars, as they are today, are competitive. I mean, if we we're putting Mackay in the car, and we're going to give him everything that we can to hopefully get him to the top, but we feel these cars are competitive, and Aaron showed that with the second fastest speed on Sunday morning there, and helped with really a setup.
Let's move on to Mackay a little bit, kind of introduce you a bit here to the program, Mackay. There's a lot of people that are very big on you. Skip Barber programs, of course, Jeremy Shaw, big supporter, part of Team USA and the scholarship. You ran across the pond and have run some good races there. Give the people that are around here a little bit of background about what brought you to the Mazda Road to Indy.
First of all, it is absolutely incredible to be able to sit up here with these 2 gentlemen and to look out and see familiar faces. This journey of mine has been really short. It all started with Skip Barber Racing School, thankfully. I was a kid coming from no means of motorsport, no go-karting experience, and thanks to Skip Barber, they gave me an opportunity to put it to the test. And from there, kudos really goes out to Jeremy Shaw for really pushing me and guiding me in every which way to be successful. So 2014 was my first ever race in a Formula car. And 2015, I had ended up just missing out on that scholarship thanks to Mazda, which would have put me in the Mazda Road to Indy within USF 2000. So now 2016, it's time to get the show back on the road, and I just want to thank everyone for supporting me thus far.
You know, one of the things, obviously, when they have the shootouts, one person takes the scholarship. That one driver is able to go. The other drivers, you wonder if you're going to ever hear from them again. But really, that's part of the journey, is to be able to keep digging and find the partners and to be able to be there. Although you didn't win the scholarship last year, we saw you, I think, every weekend on the Mazda Road Indy. You were there. You were doing whatever you could. You were working in different facets of the series. You worked for teams. Speak a little bit about your commitment and why you decided to do that, because really you went above and beyond to make sure you were still in the paddock, even though you didn't have a ride.
Well, first of all, thank you for noticing. And thank you to a lot of people who noticed the effort that was put in. If this is something I want to do, I need to remain busy at all times of the day. And that being said, you know, whether it was helping out physically, push things around, set stuff up, the importance behind that is furthering your understanding of the community in which you are going to be a part of. And this is a growing family. It's one that I'm very, very pleased to say now that I'm officially a part of. And it should just be a good time.
Can you give us a little bit of insight maybe on the relief it was when you finally sat down and realized that you were going to be part of the USF 2000 series for all of 16?
I almost broke my cell phone. So the cell phone almost hit the ground, glass shattered. So, you know, it could have been a good or a bad day there.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely, it was magical. It was unexpected. I had just actually walked out of the doctor's office after being told, you're going into surgery tomorrow. And I thought, okay, 2016, who knows what will happen. And then, I heard Fred's voice on the other end of a phone, and everything changed.
Dan, let's talk to you real briefly if you want to grab the mic from Mackay. When it comes to this level, the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship powered by Mazda, the first level of your ladder system, to be able to get not just one new person, but really two new people coming in, this has got to be a big announcement for you. You don't only get a new driver, you have a new team as well, and I think that bodes well for the future of the series.
Yes, it does, Rob. Thank you. And I'm glad to welcome this new team in. As a former team owner, I understand all of the challenges of owning and operating a team. It's great to have new blood into the series. New energy always comes with that, and the competition is already fierce, but I'm sure they'll do fine based on what they did out at Chris Griffiths. As far as Mackay is concerned, he's a tenacious young man, and he proves that you can be a talented race car driver, but there's far more involved in furthering your motorsports career. You have to have that tenacity, you have to go after it, and all the arrangements that have to be made to get a ride and to further your career, and he does that. I'm very impressed.
Let's ask Fred about that before we cap things off and open up for one-on-ones with members of the media. Fred, what was it that made you say, you know what, this is the driver that I want driving my car in 2016?
I think the thing that Tom and I, my brother, were impressed with was that here's a kid who had pure talent that's only been in the motorsports for 2 years. He won the scholarship 2 years in a row, was able to go to England, and quite honestly, with guys that have raced and won that many, many times over and compete with them. So, there very few people come along that, in our opinion, are really honestly natural talent. And we think Mackay has that. But he's also, not only does he have the skill of driving a race car, outside that car, he's fabulous. I mean, he's going to be a good promoter for Metalloid Corporation, who is sponsoring Mackay next year, and the Wild Boar energy drink that is also going to be on board for his sponsorship. So he's a good ambassador outside the car too. I mean, he's just an all-around good. I'll call him a kid, but he's a good person, and we're excited about having him in our paddock, on our team. And I think he'll do a great job and help promote the series and Metalloid and the rest of us.
I'll cap this off by asking you both one question, same question. What are your expectations for 2016? Fred, we'll start with Fred first. Your expectations.
Second place is the first loser. Okay. So we're going to put everything we can into Mackay's car to get him to the front.
There you go. Mackay, what about you?
I'll have to say that in this sport, the bar continues to be set at an unbelievable high. But if you never reach for it, you never know where you'll land. So absolutely, I'm behind Fred right there. We're going for the top.
Guys, congratulations on coming into the series. Great to have you here. Folks, a round of applause for the newest team for USF 2000 RGB Motorsports. Guys, thank you so much. We do have some media around that probably wants to have a quick chat with you guys. Congratulations.